welcome back to Disappointing Turtle. I am Creed of Kingdom 439, formerly 433, and it's great to see you again. It has been such a long time since I've made a video, so if you're tuning in to watch this one, I thank you very, very, very much. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and keep this one nice and short and sweet, but what I'm going to do is just go over some of the stuff that's maybe happened after, like, over the last year, migration stats, things like that, and then just do like a little summary at the end of some of the things that I'm going to be doing over the next couple of months. A couple of other YouTubers and people who I will either be helping or they'll be helping me with a couple of projects. Yeah, I think that's it really, so strap in and enjoy. Right, so going back to what? March last year, it must have been, is when we followed through with the migrations. I migrated several castles, but predominantly two mains from two different kingdoms. Both very, very different experiences. So what I'm playing now is a video that I uploaded to TikTok not that long ago, like maybe a couple of months ago, which was basically the progress that our kingdom had made in 439 over the last kind of, I think it was just under a year, so maybe like around January time or like that. So 9 months worth of KVK progress, star progress, and castle upgrades and things like that. And the other one that I moved over was, I moved my main from 273 to 241, and I've just got like a few kind of comparisons at the end really of the differences in kingdoms maybe. So 439, absolutely awesome migration, best decision for myself and all of my alliance as well, and some people that come from other alliances. I think we moved over something, including farms as well, it was something like 95 accounts altogether into 439. That wasn't all just us, but it was mostly us. And it has been it's been really, really good. I needed to get out of 433. I'd been there a really, really long time and I had put a lot of work into that kingdom, but it had reached a point where I could do no right. I suppose people like to dislike people, don't they? So that is pretty much what ended up happening for me over there, because I was making a lot of decisions because I had been left to do that and was not getting very much help over there. Obviously, you know, you can't keep everybody happy, so whatever, all good. I have moved on, and you know, the amount of people that come with me just kind of contest to the fact that I wasn't this massive problem that I had been made out to be. Interestingly, of the people that were left behind, there is a handful of people that I really, really miss, and some not so much. Let's just leave it at that, because I'm not here to slag people off, but I just want to give you a kind of rough lowdown of yeah, why my migration came about and how it came about. It wasn't just to do with that sort of thing, by the way. So basically what happened is the player that was in 433, that was like the big player, wanted everything to kind of be done their way and didn't have much concern about non-spenders and people that were, you know, underneath them. So yeah, there was an issue with packs and stuff, and essentially that person decided to leave my alliance and start their own, which is fine, no qualms with that. But then with that they started to hijack KVK, which was not so good, and it upset a lot of people, which is why so many of us ended up leaving, essentially. There was no room to grow there anymore, so we needed something that could facilitate that. Also, the inactivity in that kingdom, because obviously people were unhappy, was becoming less and less frequent, and what I really wanted to do was to give my alliance and the other guys in my kingdom some longevity. So when we would choose in a kingdom to go to, that is one of the things that I was looking for. I didn't want to move to a dead kingdom. I was very adamant that I wanted to go to a kingdom that had really good players, huge potential, but also where everybody was friendly as well. I mean, I know you always get like 1 or 2 people that might not be as friendly as the others, but genuinely 439 has been really, really good for all of us. And I think the growth that I'm kind of showing you guys in the background as the main part of this video kind of speaks more volumes than what I could do. So yeah, we're like a 24-star kingdom now. They were 5 or 6 stars when we migrated. So I think for both kingdoms, it was a really great idea. One of the best things that 439 had going for it is that they had this really amazing way of distributing packages and stuff, which gave equal opportunities for growth. And that was one of the main problems that we had in 433. So that was really, really appealing, and it has absolutely paid off. I mean, we have so many C45s and so many C44s there now. Everybody is getting their chance to grow. And even, like, for me, that's brilliant, because in 433, I would always prioritise my alliance. So I was always kind of just sat on the sidelines watching everybody else grow and helping them grow, because I felt bad to grow myself. I know that probably sounds really, really bizarre, but like as an R5 and as a leader, I just wanted everybody to have everything that they needed first, and I would be last, you know, on the list of priorities, as far as I was concerned anyway. But I don't feel so bad doing that in 439. They've got an excellent push list. I am now on that list. It's absolutely amazing. If I was in 433, I probably still would not be on that push list, just because I never ever would have put myself on there. And I don't think anybody else would have been courteous enough to even mention anything, to be honest, but that's a whole nother kettle of fish. It's not all about packs, it's about having fun and enjoying the company of the people that you play with as well, because I think a lot of people play for a lot of different reasons, whether you're an introverted person, so this is a good place for you to socialise so that you can type things rather than put yourself in awkward social situations, or if it's because you've got ailments and illness, and so, you know, but for whatever reason, people play this game for many different reasons, but they're the kind of key ones I see cropping up quite a lot. The age range seems to be more maturer people as well. It's not to say that younger people don't play, because they absolutely do, but it does seem to be more on the air of the maturer players. Then on the flip side of all of that, I moved my castle into 241 from 243, and everything was great for like probably the first sort of 4 months, and then it all started to go a bit downhill from there. So some of the people that migrated there were not happy about the situation, so that caused a few problems and quite a bit of drama, but then more recently there's even more drama there, and yeah, I mean, I'm actually can't be bothered to grow that castle because I just can't see any point into doing so at the moment, but we will see. I'm keeping up with the dailies and stuff, so I'm keeping it ticking over and logging in, because I hate to abandon an account. Like, that's not fun for anybody, and yeah, I don't want to fall too far behind, although I have not been maintaining it at all like I have my other one. So yeah, really, I mean, the only reason why I'm mentioning the 2 kingdoms is just to give you the 2 kind of opposite sides of the spectrum. Like, one has turned out really, really well, and one not so much, but it was in the beginning, and I'm sure if all the drama and yeah, if that all calms down, I'm sure maybe I will want to start growing that account again, but as it is, dailies is fine, that's plenty. Let me know how your migrations have gone as well down in the comment section. One of the other things that I did over on TikTok was I had, even though I wasn't making videos, I've always been recording stuff for content with the intention of making videos, but then I just get so busy that I've been unable to do it. Even now, this is not obviously castle or game related, but even now, like, my videos I'll probably be doing maybe like 2 or 3 a month. I won't be doing them as systematically as I was last time, purely because I need Guns of Glory to do stuff in order for me to be able to make content. With no new events and things like that, it's just gonna become like really dry. I don't want to just be repeating myself and regurgitating stuff week in and week out, so that's really important to me, and I think this is a good way going forward. Anyway, back to what I was saying before I went off on my little tangent. So over on TikTok, I a year basically of, well, almost a year, I think it's about 9 months, of recording my stats on a non-spender's account. So I paid close attention to what like my stats were over that entire time period, and basically put it all together to show you roughly what is obtainable. Now, I'm not saying that I haven't missed things or that I couldn't have done better in other areas, or that potentially other people have done worse in other areas, because at the end of the day, this whole game really comes down to chance. A lot of it is massive gambling aspects, especially on like guard drops and all of those sort of things. Like when you're non-spending and you're relying on event drops and like what you might win on the pirate wheel, or what you might land on pirate Monopoly. I can't say that one. Pirate-opoly. Yeah, anyway, that one, the pirate Monopoly. You know, you can never predict what your outcome is going to be. So just because this is what I've got, it doesn't necessarily mean that this is what you'll have. But one of the things that is a really like ongoing theme throughout this kind of game is people always comparing their stats to the biggest guy. Well, unless you're in that like 5% up the top, your stats are never going to be the same as the biggest guy. And I constantly repeat this, but it's true. The best thing to base it on, in my personal opinion, is if you go in Musketeer Fort and you're hitting 80% plus by within the 16 days or whatever it takes for the whole event to run through, then your stats are fine. If you're not, then obviously they need working on, but the likelihood is whatever you come across within that Musketeer Fort is a good example of what the actual stats are like out there, not just the ones that you see on videos or posted to Facebook or whatever. Of course people are going to post the stats of the huge guys because they are immense, they are so high, but don't let that deter you, like, at all. I never have. I've pretty much resigned myself like 2 years ago to the fact that I was never going to be a rally leader or a tower holder or any of those things, but that is more in regards to like KVK or, I mean, Raid I don't really stand much of a chance in, and New World, it is no secret that I absolutely fucking hate it. But you know, generally, if we're doing like Darklands or UAC or any of those type of events, I will get stuck in, I will go hold a tower. It doesn't matter that my stats are not 160 mid stats or whatever, you know, because the likelihood is the guys that I'm up against are not going to be either. So I can still do those things. It's when you're on more of a, what I would call non-manufactured playing field. And what I mean by that is an event or something where there is no real significant kind of pairing. So New World, perfect example. You all just go in, you join a server. Yes, of course, you're going to meet massive guys there. KVK, they throw in one really strong team and one weaker team compared to the strong one, not weak in general, just to clarify. And I'm pretty sure they do that just to kind of, to be honest, I don't know. I don't know why they do that, but they do. It's quite noticeable. Lots of people post up their pairings. That's fine, that's the way they want to do it. It does need revising and it does need looking over 100%. But yeah, so this is the general, trying to think of the word. This is the general growth pattern that you're going to have as a non-spender or somebody that is a mid-range spender. I mean, every now and again I will upgrade on a challenge, or I might spend 99 pence on some keys. It does not happen very often. I do not like spending money on games. I'm really old school. I'm one of those people that actually just prefers to buy a disc and stick it in a console. No digital copies, because I like to have hard copy of everything. Again, old school. So yeah, don't be comparing yourselves to the really, really big guys and getting disheartened and feeling bad for yourself because your stats don't match theirs. Not very many people's stats do match theirs. And that's the little bit of the information that isn't really shared among people, because obviously, you know, a lot of this is done so that you guys boost your spending and try and catch up with those guys. That is why it is pay to play. But yeah, that's just the way it is, and you have to make the game comfortable for yourself. Like, don't give yourself too many restrictions, is what I would say. Have fun. You're supposed to be having fun, and that's that. And everybody has a place within the Alliance, and within events, and etc, etc. And if you're in a good kingdom, they will value you no matter what your stats are, because leaders always need fillers, and leaders can't lead without fillers, and fillers have got nothing to fill without leaders. So I guess what I'm saying is you all need each other, so help each other out. Don't worry if your stats are a little bit on the shit side. They're actually not on the shit side. Yeah, and that's that on that little bit, I think. I really, really need to get my damage up, and next event, so next 50%, not this week, the week after, I will be making sure that I get those troop stats up now. So yeah, I'm hoping. I don't want to be too overzealous and want for too much, because that's the one thing I've just been saying for you guys not to do. But I'm hoping for like 40 to 100. So we'll see. We'll see. But I'll be happy with that anyway. Many wouldn't, but I am, because I am content with my place. In theme of kind of talking about the stats and castle growth and all of those sort of things, obviously there are some things that are much easier to upgrade than others, and that's because Guns of Glory have made the materials or the components more available than others. So one of the things that seems to really still be a huge problem is guards. I know it's not a problem for everybody, but it's definitely a problem for me. My guards are so outdated. And the ones that I've got that are what I would call newer guards, it's just impossible to get the other drops to be able to upgrade their stars. It's absolutely just fucking frustrating. Because as we all know, these guards pretty much dictate whether you're going to win or not. Yes, they have brought in other components, especially the like Imperial research and all of that sort of stuff, which is great because it puts back in competition. But then they bring out the mercs, which has just completely wiped the floor with that, because the minute you have the level 4 mercs, you're doomed. I saw an amazing report the other day, and it was like 63k level 4 merc cav took out 630k T13s. That should not be happening. Guns of Glory need to look at that. Yes, it's great to have these new super troops, but if you have new guards, new super troops, and all of your research is maxed, then there's no competition there. And the whole point of the game is that there is a competition. It should be healthy competition. That's what kind of makes it fun. So I think what Fun Plus really need to concentrate on is pulling some of those things back. One of the things that I used to talk about quite a lot in previous videos was the gap between spenders and non-spenders in terms of time and how long it takes to make up those stats. So, excuse me, what I had recorded before was that non-spenders were roughly about 3 months behind on upgrades than spenders. And that was guards, that was curiosities, that was everything, pretty much. With an exception to airship upgrade, not parts, like just straight up airship upgrade. Like that takes a really, really long time to slog through. I have got one left to get to 120, and it has taken me nearly a year to get all 4 components up to 120, so yeah, that's fun. But I'm so pleased. But what happens when I get it? Can I just no longer do any 50% upgrades? Because that's something that I haven't considered. or ever asked anybody, so let me know how that goes, because I want to know how I'm supposed to make my points in the 50% if I've upgraded it all, or is that just the way that it is and then people that have it up there lose out on those tickets? That would be a bit shit. I guess I will find out, not next week, but week after next. Fucking hell. I got some notes here. Yeah, gems. Although they've brought out like this new thing, which I do think is completely ridiculous. I can't even remember what it's called, but you know, where you have to basically make new gems. I think they've made them pretty easy to get. Like, most of mine are either the green or blue ones. Was that R11, R12 or R12, R13? I don't even know because there's so many. But I found those quite easy to upgrade. And also coat of arms, I found it really easy to get materials and stuff for that. I don't know if it's just because it falls nicely in line with the coin day. So maybe I just managed to get a bit of boost, but I try to average them out because I have to use them really carefully being a non-spender, because some of my materials get very low. One of those being guard weapons. That flipping purple rock stuff is an absolute nightmare trying to get anything worth near what you need for a top upgrade. Actually, usually I have the stuff for the upgrades but not the materials, and because I don't spend, I refuse to get the materials. So on my guard weapons, I might only do one upgrade in a 50% event. If I do 2 or 3, that's a really good event for me. How dire is that? That's so bad, isn't it? What's one of the other ones that's really hard to keep up with at the moment? Curiosities. Don't know why they've done it the way that they have, where they've basically made it like the gems and the guard weapons, in the sense that you have to have something first to then upgrade it to the next one. That system seems really redundant to me at the moment, so I'm not quite sure why they've done that. I'm yet to actually do an upgrade, so I can't even see what all the fuss is about. But maybe when I do, I might see the benefits to it. But the only benefits I can see at the moment is that it is costing an absolute fortune in materials to be able to do those upgrades. And I have a very similar problem where I do with guard weapons, where like I might actually have the scrolls and stuff, but the materials that I need is just so huge that I know that I'm gonna have to grind for like 8 weeks before I can get anywhere near how anybody else is. So just to tally that background to what I was kind of saying at the beginning in terms of time, it used to be around 3 months. Now it's between like 5 and 6, which a year, half a year, 6 months of Guns of Glory is a really long time to be trying to catch up with somebody. And let's not forget that whilst you are trying to catch up, that gap is getting wider every time, because in that 8 weeks, well, you've already had two new releases of something, whatever it is, so you're back to the beginning of having to try and recollect everything all over again. We all know that it is a never-ending journey with Guns of Glory and a bit of a slog, but they do need to sort out some of these stores and update some of this stuff. Catacomb store and Spirit Mine store, some of it is just an absolute joke. The amount of airship parts that you get, I think it's like 235, and the amount of Spirit Mine coins or whatever that you use to upgrade that is absolutely mental. So that really needs looking at. Just to think off the top of my head, that's the one that really sticks out to me, because it is just insane. And they also need to make the blue crystals that you use for the guard constellations available in something else, because at the moment you can only get them in like a couple of places unless you're gonna buy them. So I think that's something that needs to be done as well, especially as we're reaching a point where people are more heavily reliant on constellations than they are in actually getting the guards themselves, because the drops are so low, and as we know, it's actually sometimes more beneficial to do those constellations before it is to do the stars. Not always. You have to be very careful on what that guard's constellation does, so don't all go start one blue star in all of your cards until you know what's going on. but definitely something that needs looking at and adding in as well. On to the kind of like what's next stuff. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it floating around, but I've made a survey which is basically in regards to Guns of Glory events and things like that. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to put the link down in the comment section or in the bio, not sure, but you'll find it in one of those two places, I promise. Please just take 30 seconds to fill it out. It's really, really important. So myself, Muffin and Viz and a few other key people, as you know, did a lot of work last year trying to get some things changed. Now, we were successful in some areas and not so successful in others. We now have a lot of hindsight and understanding of their line of thinking and the things that they're looking for, and we also now know what they're not willing to change. So when we first went to them with all of our questions and everything that we wanted, I think we had a really varied range of stuff, because everybody wanted a lot of things changed, and obviously migration was still on the list then as well, which has now thankfully been ticked off, although I think a lot of people are wanting another one of those. That is another story. That is not why I'm doing the survey. So it has been a really long time since we have had any sort of new event, and some of the things that they say are events really are not events. The most worthwhile thing that they have brought out recently was the Pirate Monopoly, and I know that's going to be really controversial, but if you get some really good spins on that, you can get a decent amount of badges from there. And those marquee badges are still like gold dust. So as long as that keeps giving me marquee badges, then I appreciate it being there, even though it is tedious, has absolutely nothing to do with the game, and is essentially just a mini game in itself. I do like getting those badges, so please keep that one in and make it maybe more interesting for people that don't like playing it, is what I would say. Maybe make it competitive somehow. I'm not sure how, but leaderboards aren't enough, clearly. It just measures spending. What else? Yes, so please do the survey. I want to get a good idea of how everybody is feeling about events, so that we can maybe send this off to devs or whatever and try and see what we can do about getting a new event put in. I know that they had put out some reps and they were asking about Uncharted Seas event and whether people would like it to come back or not. Muffin was asking some questions about that as well, so if you have any feedback for her as well, please do get that to her about how you would feel about Uncharted Seas coming back. Essentially, the way I feel about it at the moment is I would rather that come back than not have anything at all. Things have become really, really mundane, and I think when things become tedious is when other people start being a little bit naughty. By that I mean lots of trolls, inter-kingdom wars, drama, arguing, all of that sort of thing. And obviously a lot of people quit. One of the questions that I ask in this survey is how many people have left your kingdom in like the last 12 weeks. Now, in the world of GOG, we're like 5 years on now. 12 weeks is not a very long period of time, I don't think, and I purposely asked it so it would sit in after the migration period time, so those stats are essentially irrelevant, because I think it's really important to us to prove to FunPlus that they are losing revenue by not keeping the game up to date and not giving people new and exciting things to do. And of course we all know that when people get bored and they're trolling and doing all of this stuff, that in itself makes people quitters too. So they are losing revenue on two different angles there, and it really is in that interest to give us something a little bit more fun to do, a little bit more engaging, but more importantly something new. I mean, if it has to be Uncharted Seas, then so be it, but I'm pretty sure all of us would like to see an actual new event. So my next video, hopefully, if it all goes to plan, will be with Muffin and Viz, and we're going to go over some of the results from the survey, which has had quite a lot of responses so far, but guys, keep them coming, because the more of you that respond, the more of a wide spectrum we have, the less of you that do it, then the more inaccurate it's likely to be, you know? I mean, we can't get everybody to do the survey, and I'm hoping to do a couple of other versions in a couple of other languages, maybe a German and Spanish for definite, because obviously this game fits a wide range. So I'm not asking for like 100,000 people to fill out this survey, but if we could get 1,000, that would be brilliant, because that is going to give us a really, really good idea of what people actually want, and it is going to give us a much bigger leg to stand on in terms of GOG, because at the end of the day, we are talking about a business that is trying to finance itself at the end of the day. So we are talking about loss of revenue in terms of what Fun Plus want to know about. In regards to the players, we just want something fun. So, and that's that really. So please do that survey. Like I said, me, Viz and Muffin, we hopefully are going to do a live. We're going to go over some of those results with you. We're going to also talk about loads of other stuff. We've got a little itinerary of things to go through. So hopefully that should be quite good, and lots of gossip I expect, because, you know, it is 3 girls, so that's probably going to be a must. Yeah, I think that's it from me. Hopefully this video wasn't too long, and thank you very much for watching it, because I understand it has been a really long time since I have made one, so I appreciate you for sticking around and for tuning into this video, and hopefully the next one as well, and also for taking that survey. Thank you very, very, very much. Yeah, that's it from me for now, I think. So take care, I hope you're well, and I will see you for the next video. Take care, bye.